What's up, guys? I got the keys here back with another video. So, whoever's watching this, I'm sure you felt isolated or alone, or like you don't have friends. I want to tell you that this is not a punishment, right? I know it can feel like that. I know that it gets hard to be alone. But honestly, this is a huge gift. And see, we picture, spiritual awakening like it's some grand gesture of I'm just going to be blissed out 24/7. Um, you know, I am the light, whatever. But we have to understand that cultivating the shadows first is what brings the light. So, initially a lot of people awaken through their pain or things they've went through, right? And um this isn't to punish us or to whatever, but it's simply to shake the ego so bad that it finally understands that it's not real, right? um and so we can get stuck in the you know being God um complex, which, yes, you are God, but you are still a human being at the same time, right? You are experiencing what it's like to be a human being. Therefore, you're not going to get rid of your ego completely, okay? That is not possible. And if you did, well, you wouldn't have much of a personality anymore, I can tell you that. You would simply be the I am, right? So, um we don't need to chase like the spiritual highs all the time, right? Sometimes the journey comes with isolation and removal of friends, family, things that no longer serve us, um, relationships, whatever it may be that is holding us back from being our best potential. Okay. Um, and often, like I said, this starts with isolation. This starts with being alone. If you can't face yourself, you cannot help others. Okay. Um, it gets to be where, honestly, guys, I am alone 90, probably 95% of the time. Do I always love that? No, but I also accept that I'm here for a reason, right? And so my being alone is teaching me everything about myself and how I work. And it also maintains my peace, my ability to cultivate what I actually want to do with my life, right? Um, so a lot of people will see this as like, oh my God, why are my friends being removed? Why aren't people answering me anymore? Why do I feel left out from old friend groups or, whatever it may be? Um, it's simply because they do not align with you anymore. And so, once you literally start to elevate in consciousness, people will literally just fall out of your life. They don't Some of them don't come with explanations. Some of them don't contact you. They just disappear. Like they're just not to be heard of anymore. Um and it hurts sometimes, I won't lie. Yeah, that stuff sucks, right? It's like, wow, I thought we were like good friends, you know? Um and they may still be your friend, right? But because you guys can't match on that same frequency anymore, like, for example, if you're somebody that eats healthy, goes to the gym, started reading books, um studies self-knowledge, studies God, studies the universe, you know talks about metaphysics, okay, the people around you are not going to understand you because majority of them are still stuck in the old ways of living. And I'm not saying that you're better or they're worse. I'm just simply saying they're into different things from you. So your frequency is being healthy, going to the gym, being the highest version of yourself. Their version is, okay, I'm going to go home and play video games and drink a ton of sugar and smoke vapes and, whatever to numb myself. And again, not that that's wrong. We've been there. I've been there. Okay. Um, I'm just simply saying that once you outgrow a certain level of consciousness, those people can no longer match with you. Okay. And it's not like I said, it's not really even a level like, hey, I'm up and you're down, right? But it's like, it's just a new level of awareness. And that's all I can really explain it as, right? Without, for lack of words. So, you have this heightened awareness of everything around you and what's going on within you. And, you're consciously moving through reality, whereas most of these people are unconscious. They're not aware of what they're doing, how they're creating it, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, none of that. They're constantly numbing it, avoiding it, running from it. And that doesn't that doesn't change anything. So, um, we like to claim that this is all love and light and it's all flowers and daisies and whatever else, but it's not, guys. This is a level up. So that means even the hard things in life you understand are for your betterment, right? And everything that has ever been thrown at you, you have survived it. Okay? Somehow, some way, right? By the grace of God, because we're here by the grace of God. So it's not about running. It's not about escaping. We want to face who we are. We want to face all of the things that we feel inside. We want to face all of the thoughts that we have on a daily basis. It doesn't mean you have to sit there and think or, catch every single thought, right? That's impossible. But you start to notice what you think about. You start to change those thoughts, right? You start to consciously choose to focus on the better things. You start to focus on the betterment of yourself, of your life, of your, like I said, friend groups or, body health, whatever it is. Okay. Um, so there's this period always of spiritual isolation. And it can happen, periodically too, where a lot of times, like for example, Jesus went and he had to rest, right? He would walk away from the physical world and go back to retain his energy, right? And to, recenter, to reground, to restabilize. Okay. So there's going to be points in the journey where, God's going to say, hey, let's just chill out. We're going to sit at home and stay in the flow. Okay. Um, Sometimes that looks like plans being canceled. Sometimes that looks like, your girlfriend breaking up with you. Sometimes that looks like your friends disappearing. Sometimes that looks like family members being mean to you, right? Um, these are all simply things to shatter your attachments, to understand that all you ever truly needed was yourself, right? And, your ultimate self, right? All you needed was God. All you needed was love. That is it. That was all you ever needed. True love, understanding love, unconditional love, meaning that no matter what you do, you could never be wrong in God's eyes, right? Now, I'm not saying to go do some radical, evil stuff, but you get my point here is that God does not see good or bad. God simply says, yes, if that's what you want, I'll give it to you because that is unconditional love. That is free will. Okay. Um, so the challenge here is to be able to sit with everything that is going on in your life, being able to face it, being able to really point out, what needs to change. How can I make myself better? Right. And you don't need to like constantly chase being better either, but simply becoming better because of staying in alignment with God. Right. So, with that being said, guys, I am doing one-on-one consultations. If you're looking to get into alignment right now, um, please set up a one-on-one call with me and we will get it all planned out. We will talk about some things that, you may be going through, whatever, right? Whatever you need to say. So, my all of my stuff will be down in the description. All you need to do is send me an email with your name and a short description of what you're going through, okay? And we will get that all handled. Um, on the other hand, you're not alone. God is with you always. Trust in your path, have faith that everything is working out for your highest good, okay? Even when the times get rough, trust that there's something better on the other side of it. Sometimes that can take months or years, and I know it sucks to sit through that sometimes, but try to maintain your energy, do the things you love, okay? Stay with the people you love, as much as you can, because that's truly all we have in this world is love. That's all we ever will need, okay? So I will see you guys in the next video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace.